Cecile Richards, thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate your time. So the President-elect Cecile has promised to get rid of Planned Parenthood, going to defund it. The House Speaker Paul Ryan says he's going to make it happen. You don't have that President Obama veto now. What do you say?
Well, I think we say that millions of women in America are concerned about not only the overthrowing of the Affordable Care Act and losing access to care, but also ending access to Planned Parenthood. You know, 1 in 5 women in this country, Aaron, have been to Planned Parenthood for health care, and we've been hearing from them all day today, concerned that Speaker Ryan would be denying them access to go to the health care provider of their choice. And I think what's important here is it's not about a funding line for Planned Parenthood. What Speaker Ryan is talking about doing is denying women on Medicaid the ability to go to Planned Parenthood for birth control and for cancer screenings and family planning services. It's not popular with the American people, and I think that I already know his phone has been jammed up today already about calls from women concerned.
So what happens to Planned Parenthood if you lose federal funding? Does it go away or not?
No, I mean, we've been around. We just celebrated our 100th anniversary. We've been here for 100 years, long before birth control was even available in this country. The challenge here, Aaron, is that women who count on us for health care, for preventive health care, because what he's talking about has nothing to do with abortion. This actually has to do with denying women access to family planning and cancer screenings.
Yep.
What it will mean is simply that there are people who count on us for health care, including thousands in the state of Wisconsin, his own state, who will no longer be able to go to the health care provider of their choice, which has been Planned Parenthood for many, many years.
So this does all, when it comes to Congress, in many ways come down to abortion, right? Your opponents, who now have the political power to threaten your existence, say Planned Parenthood is an abortion provider, right, hiding behind the guise of other medical needs that women have. So I just want to put some core stats out there to understand, and so people can understand the debate here. We compare the number of abortions that Planned Parenthood performed, more than 327,000. This is the year 2013 that we could find in the 47 states that report numbers. You provided half of those abortions. I mean, do you agree, Cecile, that Planned Parenthood is core to abortion in America?
Well, we provide abortion services, but we also provide millions of other services to folks. And again, I think it's really important, Aaron. Yes, we provide abortion. We think it's important. It's a legal service that women need access to in this country. But what Speaker Ryan is trying to do here, and what incoming Vice President Pence has been trying to do, is end access to everything that would prevent unintended pregnancy in this country, including family planning services. And that's the real irony here. And we have seen what's happened in states like Texas, where they've ended access to family planning services, to cancer screenings. We just saw in Texas doubling of the maternal mortality rate for women, and particularly low-income women, African-American women who have the least access to care. And so ironically, I think what they're trying to do will, if anything, drive up the rate of unintended pregnancy in this country and have exactly the opposite impact of what supposedly they intend.
But if the federal funding goes away, you're making the point that the organization's been around for 100 years. Planned Parenthood would still be around. You would still be able to provide these core services, you're saying, including abortion. So why do you need the federal funding?
Well, it's not the federal funding. It's the fact that women on Medicaid, and millions of them who come to us, will no longer be able to come to us. So let me just give you a good example. In the state of Wisconsin, we're the largest family planning provider. We have 22 health centers, many of them in rural areas of Wisconsin. And for many of these women, we're their only family planning provider. So if they can no longer come to Planned Parenthood, it's very likely in many of these areas they will no longer be able to get access to birth control and to cancer screenings. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about denial of services. So Planned Parenthood may still exist, but it won't exist for the people who, in many cases, count on us as their only health care provider.
President-elect Trump, this is not just the Planned Parenthood issue, Cecile, of course. It's the Supreme Court, right? He has promised, and there's every indication he is going to keep this promise very, very specifically, to nominate a pro-life judge. Do you believe Roe v. Wade could be a thing of the past?
Well, it's absolutely at risk, and we take the Supreme Court and the future nominees very, very seriously. Look, there's the highest support for Roe versus Wade in this country that we have ever had, and I think probably because folks are concerned about the outcome of the election, I think it would be a huge mistake for this administration to appoint a justice who would overturn more than 40 years of a legal right of women in this country. But we'll be looking at whoever the appointees are by the president-elect and making our opinion known. making sure that our 9.5 million supporters are engaged in communicating not only with the president, but also with their members of Congress and the Senate.
Cecile Richards, thank you so much. I appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you, Erin.
And next, Joe Biden tells Donald Trump to grow up, Donald. And my interview with the former CIA Director James Woolsey.